welcome back to another episode of the GFreak Speaks podcast, episode 27, with my man ESTEBAN, Infinite Sage.
Hey.
I just wanted to let you guys know that this podcast is brought to you by absolutely fucking nobody right now. So if you guys want to sponsor the podcast, let me know. Slide into the DMs at JackoGFreak or the email, and let me know and get behind it. This podcast can also be found on Spotify, YouTube for the visuals, iTunes, and pretty much wherever hosts a podcast on their website. But Infinite, how you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for joining me.
What's up, big dog? Awesome, man. How you been?
Good. Yourself?
All right, man. We chilling today, man. It's been a nice sunny day in Southern California, but I don't know how it is out in Australia. This man is all the way across the world, man. Oh my God, I love the internet. I get to see and hear and just cultivate all the different cultures from people from around the world and hear things from their perspective, especially through Twitch and YouTube and all that stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to see people like that, man.
It is
awesome.
cool. It is cool that we're all connected by these big cables that are just like laying the bottom of the ocean. You know?
I recently was like trying to figure out, I wonder how people connect across the world. And they're like, yeah, there's this giant cable that goes across the ocean. I'm like, wait, so there's this giant cable, like multiple giant cables that are just like on the bottom of the sea, just like crossing all the way across from America to Australia. They're like, yeah, that's how it works. I'm like, okay. So there's no wonder so much lag between us. That makes sense. There's some damn shark just gnawing on the damn thing or something like that.
Yeah.
Trying to get some free food or something.
Exactly.
Like, what the hell?
Exactly. It was quite interesting. I actually did read about it a few years back. But let's say that we have a teacup in front of us, or a U shape. So if they come across a trench in the ocean, they actually keep piling in the cable until it actually lays on the ground. You know that?
Yeah.
Instead of going across the big channel in the air, because apparently the cable can snap. So if that happens as an issue, then big issues everywhere. What's going on? The camera.
There you go. Apparently I can't move with my camera.
You cannot move.
Great job, Logitech. Great job.
Oh no. But man, where do we begin with you, dude? This has been a long time coming.
Oh yeah.
It's great to finally chat to you. You've always come by the stream, throw me hosts and stuff, and I'm sure that you keep coming back because you love that hype or something about the GFreak. I don't know what it is, but but appreciate it.
I'm guessing I'm the first fighting game guy that has been on your channel, because what my channel usually is around is mostly fighting games, and you do a lot of first person shooters. I see you on Apex, I see you on Call of Duty, see you on all that stuff. But I don't think you've ever had a fighting game like guy in your channel before, have you?
No, apart from the old team that I was signed to, which was Kanga Esports. They were a fighting team org. I was with them, and they've got Australia's best player, which is Jay Dizzle. Have you heard of him? They've got
I think so.
They've got all these like really good Smash players and really good Tekken players, so that's right up your alley.
All right.
And so look, I guess I used to have them here and there. In there, there's this kid called like Cat Capeteru or something. He's a big massive YouTuber that they also signed as well. I'll have to look him up shortly. And find out his name. But yeah, but since in recent times, yes, you are the man.
Nice. There you go. Okay, first fighting game guys right here. That's sweet. I love it.
Let's go, baby. What are the games of choice right nowadays?
Games of choice. I always, because aside from fighting games, I am a variety streamer, so I like to mess around with everything. What's crazy is that I never really played it before. I always talk shit about it, and I always used to rag on it. But now I have to say I'm starting to enjoy Fortnite for some crazy reason.
What?
They added the no build. They gave us was it the Travis Scott concert?
Yep.
They gave us the Martin Luther King event. They gave us the Wu-Tang. They're giving us Chun-Li and Ryu, and now they're giving us Sakura and Blanca and all this crazy stuff, man. I'm like, bro, like I can't complain about the game no more. I can't believe this. So they given us all the stuff that I guess a lot of other people didn't really like or weren't like really interested in. And I started messing around with it. I'm like, hey, it's not half bad. I get to dance around with all my idiot chat friends, and we get to mess around and play the game all the time. So I'm having fun with that. Outside of that, oh man, there's so many fighting games. Like as of right now, it's like a fighting game renaissance. There's so many fighting games that have been coming out.
Yep.
There has been a good surge of anime fighters, which I'm kind of not really that much into, but if I find a really good anime fighter, I'll probably jump into it. But for the most part, my big anime fighter is probably Guilty Gear. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Never heard of it.
But there's the big ones, like Street Fighter, which just got announced for Street Fighter 6. Everybody's losing their mind.
Yep.
Nothing for Mortal Kombat as of yet. We all know something's gonna happen. NetherRealm's gonna throw something out there. We don't know yet. But like you said, you had like the boys in Tekken and stuff like that. There's a big major event. It's called Evo, and that's gonna be in August this year, and it's gonna be the culmination of like the best players from around the world being able to compete in a tournament in Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's also a big thing in that fighting game community and stuff like that. So I think as far as what I like or what I've been playing recently is just going back to the old school fighting games, man. Since the resurgence of everything that's been happening outside of like Fortnite and stuff. Fortnite Cup.
Yeah.
Playing that game. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I'd say the same thing with the resurgence of Grand Theft Auto. I don't know if you noticed, but like the game is 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
But there seems to be a new resurgence of the game because a lot of people are messing around with something called roleplay.
Yep.
And what that does is people do their best to immerse themselves into the characters that they've created in the game.
Yes.
And it's all mods. It's all just like stuff that Rockstar hasn't even officially done. But since the game is 10 years old, everybody's breaking the game and adding on their own stuff and all this crazy mods and stuff like that. So I think the game has really come around over the years, and now that they just re-released it for PS5 and Series X, now everybody's getting back into it and messing around with it and stuff like that. So that's another big one for me. Yeah, I mean, I would say what would you say is like the greatest game of all time? The GOAT, like
the GOAT,
the GOAT, man. It's like the one. You know what I mean?
Well, this is the thing. There's so many genres, okay? Esteban.
Right.
And to say that one game is better than the other, there's always going to be that controversy. I think that, and then there's also the fact of, people like ourselves, we're going to be going back and saying, oh, the days when we used to play this and that, and those were the days. And then a kid would go back and play that game and be like, that is dog shit. So to say a GOAT game, it's really biased for me to say. I think they're coming up through the early 90s, that the Street Fighter and Tekken and those Pac-Man things and Donkey Kong were amazing. Those arcade games where the tabletops, they were probably the best thing out there, and they were the only thing. And so I think that the GOAT changes every 10 years. So back then it would have been, I don't know how long the fighting games have been around for and what was the first. You may know that. But you would have had, you've got your Mario and then the Nintendo world versus the Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Street Fighter world. So you've got those two colliding. Now, whatever you choose, I don't know. You probably have the sweatier guys on the Street Fighting games, and then you have the more family orientated stuff on towards the Mario stuff. But I don't know, like the GOAT of all games. It really is difficult for me to say. Like, look, for me, I've always been in the Call of Duty genre. So it would have to be like, I'd have to say like Call of Duty, like as a genre. But I really do like the way that Grand Theft Auto has stayed relevant with one game for 10 years. And they've generated $6 billion. You know that?
Oh yeah, no,
It's
they're printing money at this point. It's kind of goofy.
it's
Like
incredible.
it's dumb. It's dumb how much money they're making, and it's funny what they're doing with it because as of right now, it doesn't feel like they're doing anything because they're just milking that one cow,
Yeah,
just like with Activision and Call of Duty, just like with Activision and Tony Hawk, just like
yep,
with Activision and Guitar Hero.
yep,
Like they just find that one thing and they're like, hey, we're good, we're fine, like we're like, and you know what? Everyone does it. You go from your League of Legends to your World of Warcrafts. All of those companies, once they find their niche, like they're good. Like
yep.
they don't have to worry about anything else, and they keep milking that one thing, and they'll release like a new version, every couple of years. But with Rockstar, I think they've just like you know what? This is our cash cow. We know exactly how to make money off of it. Let's just keep selling the damn thing. Who cares? And then the whole world is screaming, "When's GTA 6? Give us GTA 6!" They're
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, okay. You guys, you can
yeah,
join that." And the people get so bored. I guess that's what it is that they start hacking the game and making their own version of that game,
yep,
and it's become the new Grand Theft Auto. And
yep,
Rockstar's like, yeah, it's fine as long as you just keep giving us money, we're fine.
yeah.
Whatever,
It's
just give us money.
it is insane. Not many games would allow you to be able to do that. Like
Yeah,
it.
no, a lot of companies would throw out like a cease
Yeah.
and desist, but
Yes.
these uh uh servers aren't trying to collect money. As far as I know, they're not trying to get money and make a profit off of that because then obviously Rockstar would probably come after them with like pitchforks.
Yep.
But I think that as long as they are allowing the community to grow, it benefits Rockstar, and I think they know that. I think they realize that if people are still are using the mods and still playing their game, they'll get more promotion, which is free
Yep.
promotion, and they're fine with that. So they could care less. So
It's
um
interesting. It is interesting to see that because
yeah.
a lot, like you see a lot of this DMCA copyright with music and stuff, and the
Oh
same
yeah,
goes
yeah,
for
yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
like, well, how come you wouldn't you want people to hear that song and be like, fuck yeah, that's a banger, let's download it. So there's constantly
Yeah.
like downloads all the time, and it's getting listened to all over the world and stuff, and
Yeah.
whatnot. It is interesting to see how they run things at Rockstar because it is very, I guess you would say, different to how every other company is. Every company is like, no, it's all about our IP. You can't change it. This, that, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. But Rockstar is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
community driven. And I know that if they change that, then they may lose that community. And so that's what they have over a lot of other AAA game developers right now. And they're proving to be one of the most successful, if not the most successful company
Yeah.
in the space, which is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So how I see it is that when you look at copyright when it comes to movies and music versus copyright when it comes to video games and why Twitch is allowed to do what it does or even YouTube to do what it does, the difference is experience. And how I see this is when a person is watching somebody like Tom Cruise jump out of a plane and do all the crazy stuff in the movie, he's already gotten that experience because he's seen the movie. But if you see somebody do that same thing in a video game, you might enjoy what you're seeing, but then it compels you to want to experience that for yourself. So you got all these companies that have no problem with people streaming games, and then they won't complain about copyright because you're essentially just using their product for to make money off of their entertainment.
Correct.
But at that core, the audience is the one that seems more compelled to want to actually say, you know what, oh, that looks like fun. Now I want to play it, and it compels the audience to want to buy that product. So at the end of the day, the audience is still that product that the companies are still trying to go after. When you have a movie or you have a song that's out and it's being released without say their consent or without them getting paid, that media is already done. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that person has already experienced it and they're like, okay, well, cool, I've already saw the movie, now I don't need to go out in the movie and pay for it. So I guess that's where the company's mindset is at. But at the same time, I think that when it comes to the copyright claims, there has to be a medium where uh, Twitch doesn't have to go through this damn nightmare
Yep.
of consistently having to flag certain songs because it has in the background. And bro, I don't know how you do it. You have the whole DJ system set up. You're playing all these crazy songs, and I'm like, bro, is he gonna get strike? Like, is he okay?
You're
what's
like,
happening
you're sitting
right
back there like,
I'm
oh
worried
shit,
about you,
oh
man. I'm
shit.
worried about
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, here you go. Here comes the DJ set and everything like that. I'm like, oh man, is he okay? Like, what's gonna happen here? So, I'm sure you got to worry about stuff like that too. And I think what should happen is there has to be legislation. You have to talk to Congress. You got to talk to your senator and all that stuff like that, and tell them that something that has to do with copyright when it comes to streamers and entertainers and stuff like that, there should just be a global fee, a fee where we can pay so that we can play any music that we want, and the artist gets paid because we're paying that monthly fee. There is something like that out now, but it's like thousands of dollars. It's not even practical.
Yeah.
But if you have something that's a little bit more affordable for like, just general streamers and stuff like that, we should be allowed to just play,
Whatever.
Snoop Dogg, and the Chronic while we're playing the video game, because we do that anyway.
Yeah.
And it'd be kind of cool to listen to music while we play that game. But again, everything is getting stricken down and it's become a total nightmare. But yeah, how do you do it? Like, how in the world are you are you just like rolling the dice right now? Is this like
I guess
like,
for me, I'm just rolling the dice, but at the same time, like these are all remix songs as well.
Yeah.
So they are remixed, and they're not from they are from YouTube and stuff and whatnot. So I don't know. It's there's I don't know if there's any real copyright on them. Like they're remix songs of songs that have copyright on them. So on YouTube. Yeah. So I don't know. It might be the loophole there.
You might find out that what's going on.
Yeah, I think so.
There are little tricks like having a remix version of a song, as long as it's like from a DJ that isn't trying to. Well, normally DJs can't copyright that, but let's say you're playing let's say you're playing like a Dr. Dre song, like a beat, and then Rihanna is like doing the vocals over it or something like that. Then you might be able to get away, but of course the algorithm is going to scan for all of it and say, oh, well, this one sounds familiar, and they'll just flag that, you know what I mean? And that could be an issue. But for the most part, if you're doing those remix songs that just unheard of, and then you have like, let's say Rihanna doing the vocals, you'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy because I remember the first time I hosted you, we were doing random hosts. I do this all the time. I'll just at the end of a stream, I will be like, you know what, let's just host one of my random people out there. And I'm like, okay, I think that night I was playing Call of Duty, and what I usually do is that I'll host whoever's playing that game at that time. So I'm looking through all the channels. And I'm like, boring, no camera, just sitting there, dark room, not really engaging, not really interesting, blah, blah, blah.
You went through the list.
I see your stream, and I'm like, hold up, is that Dr. Disrespect? Wait, what's happening here? Wait a second. No, that's not. This dude's got the whole wig going. He's got the shades. He's looking super buff. Something's going on here. So let me click on that. So immediately I was like, okay, this is really fucking cool. And then I see you going ham, like insane on Call of Duty. I'm like, okay, this guy's legit. Let me bring my chat over.
Yep.
The chat comes in, and I'm like, okay, cool. He's probably gonna say, oh, thanks for the host or whatever like that, and chill. Next thing you know, the whole screen background changes. This guy's got a whole DJ set up, and he's like, let's go. I'm like, what's going on? This man starts with, and I'm like, yo, what is happening? This is the craziest stream ever. And my whole chat started getting lit up and stuff like that. It was super cool. So I think that's why I enjoyed your channel a hell of a lot, because of the fact that there's a thing called being a streamer where you're just sitting there, you're playing games, and being a showman where you're actually engaging your chat and you understand that you are an entertainer. You're supposed to entertain your audience. And a lot of streamers get really too in my opinion, a lot of streamers get comfortable. They just they sort of shut down and they just play the game. That happens when you're focused. And a lot of what are those guys called?
Pros.
God, those speedrunners. The
Okay.
speedrunners.
Yes.
Yeah. Those guys are intense. They won't say a word. They'll play the game. They'll shut the hell up and they'll go right into it because
Yes.
they got to focus. They got to. I mean, I totally get that. And some streams actually excel at that. Like the audience just wants to see the guy focus. They want to see him concentrate and stuff like that. But for me and how I see it, I still see it as entertainment. People should be entertained and they should have fun.
Yeah.
And he should be engaging. And you knocked it out of the park with that. And I thought it was hilarious. And the Doctor Disrespect angle was hilarious. I thought that was the most funniest thing because it's like this dude looks hella cool and he's making it a lot of fun while not being too serious. And I thought that was like super fucking dope. So that aspect of people seeing things for the first time is kind of crucial because that's how you get exposed. That's how you get your name out there. That's how people start to recognize you, is to be that person that stands out. And when you look at a lot of streamers, it's hard because they're still looking for their niche. You know what I mean? They're trying to find themselves.
There's so many.
Like
There's so many. There's so many, man. And I get you. And that's what I thought about like 5 years ago when I first started. One of my buddies suggested it to me. I'm like, okay. I started doing it. I didn't even know who Doc was. And then I start getting called this. I'm like, what? So I looked him up. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, I understand the resemblance. And then now what I do is I actually say, no, he's the American version of me. So, and that's how we play the narrative. Yesterday at this Call of Duty LAN, you know, people, like, a lot of people give me a hard time about stuff. Like, and I really don't care. Like, this is my full-time job. I've got a job outside of that. I've got my friends and family that I've got. They're my everything, you know? So you can say whatever you want. I really don't care. Okay. People get all fed up about it when they get, you know, yelled at and all that type of stuff. Obviously more's on the line if it's your livelihood, and whatnot. So that's fair enough. But yeah, like I never let those comments, you know, get to me or anything like that because I know I have more outside of what this is. And that's a thing, you know. It can't. It's tick for tack. People always want to shoot you down and stuff, and I'm sure you cop your fair share of shit as well. And this is this is your full time gig, isn't it?
Pretty much. I mean, I do have like everybody has like an outside job when it comes to streaming, unless you've made it to the point where you feel comfortable enough to do it full time. But for the most part, no, I have an outside job as well. So
wow, I respect that because you average about 500 viewers. You're a beast.
Trust me, man. When I see what successful, like, you know, quote unquote successful streamers I have, I strive for that because everyone says you know, the grass is always green on the other side, yada yada yada. But I like the idea of being able to stream full time to the point where it becomes your job. You know what I mean? I think that's a dream job for a lot of people, and it's not for everybody because even I have friends and family that are like, dude, you know, I couldn't sit there and play video games for, you know, this is the amount of time, even if I wasn't getting paid for it. Like I physically, like I just couldn't do it. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that. Like it can be draining for those who aren't really into it, but that's like any job. Like if I feel bad for people who go to college and apply and then get said job for a thing that they don't like. So if you can find the thing that you're good at and you can make money off of it, you know, go for it. They always say just find the thing that you're good at and you know, try to make money off of that. And it's like, okay, so I like smoking weed and sitting on the couch. Okay, well, let's think about that, and then we'll work around that. And it turns out, you know, in today's age, you know, smoking weed, you can make money off of that. All you got to do is understand what it is you're smoking, figure out how to create your own strain of, you know, kush weed or cannabis or whatever like that, and, you know, make money off of that. So anybody can make anything into a profession if they understand their target market. And I think that's difficult, especially promotion, because a lot comes down to promotion, and I think a lot of people forget about that. And I think that's why there's so many Twitch channels of just people that I guess are trying to make that that channel really grow, but they don't really promote it. They just stream, and then they say, okay, where's my audience?
Yep.
But they don't actually attempt to see other streamers, hosts or promote on other platforms as well. It
Yep.
can't just be Twitch. You can't just be Twitch. You got to be you got to be all over social media in order for your platform to grow.
Yes.
And some people don't understand that, and it's important for like guys like you and me to like guide them, because everyone starts from somewhere. When you said your friend suggested it, what were you playing before?
Well,
Like when you
suggested me like dressing up.
Oh, okay,
That's what he suggested.
okay.
He suggested that. I'm like, okay. He's like, you got to stand out. He said this was back in 2017, man. I'm like, yeah, fuck, okay, I'll do that, man. So that's how long I've been around for. I don't know, how long have you been around for, man?
Around the same when Mortal Kombat X came out, which was the big one. Let me see, Mortal Kombat release date. Yeah, when Mortal Kombat X came out, that's when
2015.
Yeah, it's
April
around
7th.
There.
I'm on it. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 2015. So yeah, I've been around there.
I just knew that.
That's when. Yeah. That's when the surge of Twitch really started to make it. Like Mortal Kombat X kind of changed
Wow.
a lot for Twitch, because as soon as that game hit, everybody was flocking to some sort of platform that was allowing people to see the game live.
Yes.
And YouTube didn't have that, and Mixer didn't exist, and Facebook Gaming didn't exist, and the only real platform at the time was Twitch, and they had their integration done well. Like the usability of the website was actually done well, and I never even envisited it before when it was called Justin TV.
Yes.
Yep. And I didn't even know anything about it. But then when everyone's like, "Dude, go to Twitch, stream from there," and I'm like, "I'm running my PlayStation 3 here, so I don't know how it's gonna work." PS4 allowed you to actually stream from the console, and that's when I started streaming, because I was messing around with the console. I was like, okay, I got a PS4, I'll just stream from there.
Yep.
At the time, people were saying, don't stream from Twitch, you should stream from your console, because you'll get more viewers, because the people that are on the console actually shows up on their, if you're playing a certain game that they're playing, it'll show up on their front page, and they'll see you, and you'll get more viewers that way. That was a good niche for about a couple months before people started to realize that the quality wasn't the same, and the frame rate wasn't the same. And if you and if you build a channel based off of how presentable it looks, kind of like your channel, then people will come to it. It's like you said, you have to stand out, and making things look fresh, look clean, making it look as cool as possible is the way to go. People will just flock to it, because aesthetics is very important. They want to see something that that stands out, and that's definitely what happens when you go to a channel and you see how well it looks. And it pops, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's all about the colors.
Yeah, it's all about the colors and
how your body feels, and the emotions when you see the colors and whatnot. So, but what are you saying?
It's freaking hilarious, man. Have you ever used a layout before, or have you always just had the green screen?
I've always had the green screen behind me. So right now, like when you see this video, it'll be it'll have my name and stuff behind me that I have right now for your camera though, because I have two cameras for you guys listening at home. I actually have one, so then ESTEBAN doesn't have he's not talking to a brick wall. He has a camera, and then I have one for you guys as well. So I'm spreading the love across the board, which is we're flexing around a little bit. But yes, I've always been that. In the beginning, I was streaming from the PlayStation 4. And then I got the PlayStation 4 camera, and I was streaming with my bedroom for about a week. About a week it lasted, and then I got the green screen. Bang.
Yeah,
It was
there you
up.
go. Yeah.
And then I went into character about a week after that. Bang. So 2-week transition, it changed so fast.
Nice. Yeah, that's
How about
dope,
yourself?
Oh my God, I went through so many different. I have a green screen. I had like about 5 or 6 different variations of layouts.
Yep.
Before I kind of settled on like my core 7. I think I like switching up the layouts.
Yep.
I don't like the idea. This has always been a pet peeve of mine, and this is just from my personal experience of watching other streamers. I hate it when there is something obstructing the game. I like the fact that I can see the streamer, but I want the game to be. I want to see the whole game as well. So the only way to do that is to have a layout where you're separated from the game. The only problem is that when people are looking on their cell phones, it's hard for them to see the whole thing because obviously the game is smaller than it needs to be. So during the time like around like 2015, not that many people were watching streams on their cell phone because the data wasn't there.
Yep.
So everyone was watching on their home console, and then you could put it to full screen and get that experience of having a very large amount of space to see the game and the streamer with the layout.
Yep.
Now things are different. Everybody's watching these streams on their phone, and you have to have a green screen, or you need to just be in the way of the game now. I totally understand it. I get it. I just can't stand it. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Biggest pet peeve of mine. I love having layouts. I might change it later on in the future, just go along with the crowd, I guess. But as of right now, I'm still enjoying having a layout. So
hey, whatever you're doing, man, you're popping off. So you got like 500 viewers, but I think that sitting in your chat, it's a very tight community that you have there, and it's great. So you can put on whatever you want, and all your homies will be there for you, man. And I love that. I love that, man. Like you turn on your streams because you love them, and I love that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So how I got started was from a guy called Maximilian. You'll see that in the background, all of our crazy adventures and stuff like that. I don't know if there you go. That is from a movie we did. This is all of this right here is fan art, except for the Street Fighter.
That's a cool Smash Bros. One, yeah.
Yeah. All of it's fan art. Our community is insane. Ridiculously talented individuals that were kind enough and generous enough to make art of us idiots in these random adventures that we put together. And
I love that.
come up with they made us Ghostbusters, they made us Dragon Ball, they made us Street Fighter characters, they put us in all this stuff. And I think that that one right there is us Rule 34, Rule 64, where they turned us female, stuff like that. Crazy stuff, a lot of fun. And that is because of one guy, Maximilian. This guy is a beast when it comes to streaming. Absolutely amazing when it comes to how he puts his content together, and he was gracious enough to let me and my friends into the movies that he wanted to put together. And from there we just sort of created that community, and then the community itself, oh my god, it became its own entity, and it started to just grow up in itself. And man, the Yo Video Games community is absolutely insane. They have so much love and support for each other that it became something more of its own private community that tends to watch us be morons on camera every so often. So it was something that built over time that was not even planned. It was just unexpected, and we were just kind of riding the wave of that. But definitely Max is the person that really put this all together, and we kind of helped manifest it because of the natural way that we interact. We're just a bunch of guys getting together and playing video games, right?
Exactly.
And a lot of that ended up missing around the time that people started streaming because it was around that same time of the fall of arcades. And I don't know, you used to go to arcades when you were a kid and stuff like
Nah,
that?
it
Like,
wasn't really a thing for me, man. I'm
um,
20, I'm 25.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
wasn't like a big thing. I guess maybe in Australia it wasn't
Did,
like a
you know,
big thing.
I was gonna say, does Australia really have like a big arcade scene, or used
Well,
to have an arcade scene when you're growing up at
we have
all?
like time zones where you go there, you win the tickets, you roll the ball up and you get into the
Oh, okay,
hole,
all right,
those
yeah,
type of
okay. You're talking
things.
about
You drive the
those type of, yeah,
motorbike, you have the
yeah, yeah,
bumper
yeah, yeah,
carts,
yeah, yeah.
and you do like these, pull these things out of the water
The
and all these,
crane, yeah,
and the
the
crane
crane
as
games and stuff like
well,
that.
and all that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
There's not really too many places that you would go for a tabletop.
yeah.
There's definitely pinball machines at these places called Time Zone. But
Okay.
yeah, it's not really a massive thing. I feel like that's a very American thing that we've taken on
Wow.
board and we've spun to our own thing.
Yeah.
And gone with it like a Tron Legacy, the movie how they go into the arcade shop. Like I'm
Arcade,
picturing
yeah, and
I'm
see,
picturing
yeah, and
that for
have
the
all.
the American type of scene. But look,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just one of those things. We haven't really done it, but look, your sense of community is really fantastic. And like I want to just dive into it a little bit more and just like
Yeah.
what does community mean to you when you're a Twitch streamer?
Uh, well, okay, so community as a streamer
Yeah, what does
or
your
just
community
community in
mean to
general?
you and in general as well?
Oh, okay. Well, as a streamer, I think the community means having that support network of people that are able to come and gather into a specific stream and just talk about the things that they're all naturally interested in.
Yep.
Uh, Max was able to build that community because of the fact that he was interested in so many things that we kind of all were back in the day when we used to watch anime and we used to love the video games that we did when growing up and stuff like that. It's funny how you can, like I was saying before, how you can be interested in weed and then all of a sudden go online and find so many people who are interested in the same type of stuff that you are,
Yeah.
and then you guys go back and forth and just start chopping it up and stuff like that. The same can be said about anything. Max was a big fan of fighting games. We all were, and he just found his community of people that would constantly come by and just chop it up about, oh man, you remember that SNK fighting game back in the day? Yeah, I have the board, and he will like show people like the old magazine and stuff like that, and I'll come over and be like, man, you don't got that magazine. Check out this Nintendo Power that I got,
Yeah.
and I would show them like all the old school stuff. So everybody knows that okay, this person really used to be a big fan of that stuff. And just like you said, like the Smash community and stuff like that used to people that used to be fighting in Smash as well. They build their own communities because you have these people that are big major fans of it, and everybody flocks towards that thing because they have that kindred they have that kindred camaraderie, and it 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 can either be niche or it can be inclusive, and sometimes the FGC as itself can be very gatekeepy
Yep.
because they don't, sometimes unfortunately they tend to push people away that aren't dedicated to the game as much as they are,
Yeah.
and it can be daunting because you lose um newcomers or potential newcomers from trying to see the actual potential of
Yep.
what fighting games can be. And I think that's why we kind of grew in that aspect, is because we're kind of one of the few people in the fighting game community that's very inclusive, and we tend to try to draw people into fighting games because it's a very niche genre in that aspect. But I get you. I'm pretty sure you have that in the FPS community as well, where you have like, let's say, people on your team that are like, oh, this guy, look at this guy's KD. He's only like, point 36. This guy's trash. Get him out of here and stuff like that. And he's like just trying to learn.
Yeah.
And instead of just like, shitting on him as soon as he shows up, you'd be like, here, let me show you how to drop shot. Let me show you how to, get these headshots. Let me like, instead of like, like just trying to teach him and stuff like that. So I think that's what set us apart, is the fact that our whole community is based off getting people to understand from the ground up how to actually play fighting games, because I don't know if you saw recently, there was an AT&T live event that happened recently where they were getting the random big streamers to play fighting games. And man, it was rough to see people just trying to play fighting games for the first time, having no idea of what to do, and them getting frustrated. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing the FGC come in and show them, it's like, hey, try this character. Brian F. He was like, yo, pick E Honda, just start mashing that one button, and E Honda will just go.
Yeah.
Just start and then you'll start winning matches and stuff like that. And then from there, you can learn and start to grow, and maybe, who knows, we'll get some more fighting game people to jump onto the community, because again, the more the merrier.
Yeah,
I always say.
absolutely.
Every community does have its toxic section and stuff like that, but I think that the more people that share that love for that said genre, I think the more people can come closer together as human beings, because that's what it's all about anyway. It's just about making that connection.
Yeah.
So I think video games are a great way to make a connection, and that's what, in long story short, that's what community means to me, is being able to make that connection with people. And it's hard sometimes, because in Twitch, it feels like a void.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard. Like, I mean, I don't know. Have you seen the just chatting section? Like, you click on just chatting and you see just an endless sea of people just yeah, and you're just scrolling down. You're like, oh my god! It's like, and you feel bad because you want to host them all, or you want to bring people in there. You want to, because all those people are just trying to do is just make a connection.
Yeah,
they're just talking to nobody. Like, you'll see, oh, this guy might have like 3 viewers and something like that, and he's just talking up a storm. And you just come in there and you just start texting in there, and you're like, hey, what's up? What's going on? And you guys just start chopping it up, and all of a sudden, guess what? You just made a friend who lives in India or something like that. And you're like, that's cool. That's awesome. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
And, it's awesome that you can do it live. That's amazing.
I know, it's incredible that we can connect like what we're doing right now overseas. We can do it all live. You can interact via a chat message that someone sees within whatever the delays, and responds to it and stuff, and you have that sense of community.
Yeah. The delays are kind of funny because you can mess with people like that. But
exactly. And then you have the time when you go to live events and you meet people for the first time, which look, sometimes can be a bit awkward, because they're like, hey, can you guess who I am? And you're like, no, I no.
I've had that. I've had that so many times.
Yeah.
I've had one of my fans come up to me and be like, hey, it's me. It's me. You don't know who I am? You don't know who I'm like,
yeah.
And he starts dropping hints, and I'm like, bro, just tell me your name on the thing so I can give you a big old hug or something. Because I have no idea who you are. So I was like, you don't recognize me? I've never seen you before in my life. Yeah. So So
then they feel insulted, bro. They're like, oh, how do you not know who I am? I'm like, bro, you're a fucking word on my screen. Like, you've got the purple font. I don't know. Like,
you got a name tag. I have no idea who you are. I'm sorry.
I know.
Do they have TwitchCon in Australia?
No, there's no TwitchCon. This year we have, so just this weekend I had a Call of Duty LAN event, which was pretty cool. Hosted and casted that, but we generally have a couple. So we have a fighting game thing coming up as well, hosted by one of my friends who's in charge of Events Engine, called Battle Arena Melbourne, BAM, which those qualifiers go to the international thing for Street Fighter and Smash, I think. So a lot of people generally tune in to see, okay, who am I versing at the international stage? But then we also have, later towards the end of the year, we have PAX. So you obviously have a PAX yourself.
Yeah, we have PAX.
And then we also have a DreamHack as well, which is going to be huge. Obviously, you know what a DreamHack is. And that's all in the city that I'm part of, baby. So Melbourne.
Wow.
A lot of Americans call it Melbourne, which is, to give tomato, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely event packed to a degree to the later end of the year. But I think that we can definitely get some more towards the start of the year, which would be sick. We also have Comic-Con. But there's definitely no TwitchCon to answer your question.
What Con's pretty big. Comic Con, I'm pretty sure you guys that and an anime con or something like that is usually the go-tos when it comes to major events like out in America and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Comic Con's like another really big one that is a major event for a lot of people. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Exactly.
Yeah, like you said, it's an awkward thing, but once you get once the ice is broken, everything like
Yeah.
that, everyone, it's like being in the chat room again. Like everyone just shoots the shit and they have fun and stuff like that. The only difference is that I get to buy everyone drinks and we can all like completely wasted and have fun together. It's always great.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, I look. The thing about it with these events is that I'm always contracted to work and stuff.
Yeah.
I've also always got to bring my big A game. So people are like, "You want to come for a drink?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I got like,
but I'm
getting paid. I'm getting paid a lot of money to perform on stage at these events for 3 days straight, and like they're big, long days, and I just don't want to ruin myself, because I want because these opportunities lead to other things and stuff. So the more I perform, the better it is. Like, and people, I don't think anyone gets like, insulted by me saying politely, I can't, I'm sorry, because I'm genuinely, I've got a contract. I want to make sure I perform and do my best, because you know how it is when you've got, I'm not a massive person in the scene, but when I get given opportunities, I always give it 110%, and I want to, show what I've got, what people might be missing out on stuff. And yeah, but actually yesterday, 2 days ago at this event, I had a deaf guy come up to me. And he tapped me on the shoulder. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, buddy?" And he said, "Oh, sorry." He mimed to me, "I can't hear you. I'm deaf." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he types on his phone, and then he says, "Hey, I love how you are. You have such a great community and stuff." I'm like, and then I grabbed his phone from his hand and I tapped the microphone and said, "Hey, thank you so much." And I talked into it. So we're having a conversation. It's just crazy how far technology has. And that was my first fan that I've had that was deaf and that came up to me and it was really cool. So shout out to you, Anthony, if you listen to the podcast.
That's awesome.
I think it was Deaf Ant is his name. But cool, legend, man, legend. That is awesome, it was pretty cool. Man. You meet some super unique people. And it's so cool. It's so cool what is in the community and what's out there, the positivity.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like we meet different kinds of people all the time when it comes to events, and I think that's the difference between some of the events that you go to and something like, let's say, like TwitchCon, because with TwitchCon or even Comic-Con, you don't have to worry about competing or anything like that. You can just go there and kind of hang out and stuff like that. With Evo, more than likely I might compete and stuff like that. I don't like to stress myself out too much. This is the reason why I think I can enjoy myself in my community a little bit more, is because I don't take it too serious. Only because of the fact that I've been playing fighting games for so long that I've gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm never gonna be that pro guy. Like I'm never gonna be that professional fighting guy.
Yep.
I'm gonna be the guy that represents the casual gamer that enjoys fighting games for the simple enjoyment of playing the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to be amazing at it to enjoy it. You just have to enjoy what you're playing.
Yeah.
And this is probably my ADHD brain, how it works when it comes to fighting games, because my thinking is this, and I've seen it a dozen times. There are streamers that will play that one game and they'll play it over and over and over again. And they'll become masters at it, and people will flock to them to see them play that one game. And I've seen it over and over again. I've seen it with Ninja. He'll play Fortnite and he'll have thousands, hundreds and thousands of people watching him. But if he plays something else, it'll shrink down to like maybe 20,000, 15,000 or something like that.
Oh, sad.
So that's crazy. only, you're right, like only.
Shit.
But like, damn it, only 15. This guy. Yeah. Oh my god. But the thing that I've noticed is that his community doesn't really go there for him. They go there to see him play the game because he's so good at the game. But if he had that more of a connection with his community, I would assume he would get that kind of numbers regardless of whatever it is he plays. And I think that says a lot about how you build your market, how you build your channel. When it comes to me and when I play games, my chat already knows I'm not going to be the best player at any of those games. but I'll play it because I enjoy it, or I'll just have fun and stuff like that. And I think that's more of the focus of the channel, is just, you know, playing the games, having fun, and shooting the shit with the people in the chat as well.
Yep.
Uh, uh, and the people that are amazing at those particular games is because they play it so much and they end up hating it. I don't want to end up hating a game that I'm playing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to feel like a chore. I don't want it to feel like a job. The whole point of video games is that it's entertainment. You're supposed to have fun. If you are playing a game and you're not having fun, why are you playing the game? If you're being frustrated to the point that you're actually getting stressed out, should not be playing the game. There are professional guys out there, like the Halo guys, and I think Fortnite,
Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex
those
Legends.
guys, 100%, I understand, because guess what? You're getting a paycheck. You
Yeah.
have to win. It is no time to lose. And I think that's another thing that Ninja said.
It's a
He's
sport.
like, dude, he's like, hey, I play to be competitive. Like, I'm not playing to lose. What the fuck? You want to be a loser? You can be a little loser. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, damn, like, Ninja, calm down, bro.
Yeah.
Just play the game, have fun. So there is that different aspect of gamers. You have those that are very competitive and those that just casually like to have fun. And I like to put myself in the middle, because fighting games are all competitive, 100%. You gotta be competitive if you want to play fighting games at a reasonable level.
Yep.
And that's what the FGC is really like a lot. Is a lot of competitive, a lot of popping off, a lot of trash talk. But at the end of the day, they all have respect for each other, and you see that a lot in the UFC too. A lot of trash talk, a lot of competitive pop offs. But at the end of the round, what do? They like shake hands and they pat each other back and they give each other hugs and stuff like that. So
unless you're Conor McGregor and Khabib, bro.
Unless you're Conor McGregor, yeah. Unless you're Conor. There's no shaking hands at that point. No, you're getting spit on after or something.
Yeah,
crazy
afterwards
like
there's a massive all-in fight and shit's the fan.
Yeah, and then the whole crowd.
That's a pisser,
crazy,
man.
like that.
That's so funny,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
so they go
I understand
all
what you mean. I think shit
yeah.
talking is part of it. Like yesterday was the most crazy toxicity I've ever seen in Call of Duty. People were standing up, fucking yelling over monitors, saying, "Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah,
I'm gonna go buy some shit with my winnings and all that type of stuff, and go back into the toilet and go sniff some Adderall or some shit like that." It was like the tournament people that were there. They were like, "Hey guys, you should just tone it down." Like we all don't care. Like we love it. But the people at the venue, they were like, "Oh, we don't want people saying that type of stuff," and we're just like, "Yeah, whatever." But it was yesterday. It got way more rowdy because it was nothing to lose. It was the last day yesterday. I don't give a fuck if I'm going home. I'm going out with a fucking bang. I'm going down, giving you the finger on the ground because you got nothing to lose. Drag me out of here. I don't care. But it was unreal. And I understand what you mean with the shit talking. It's great. It's all part of it. And people do get really hurt by it, I guess, here and there. But it's all part of it, you know. Like I'll talk shit to people in Call of Duty. They'll come by the stream and crack the shits. But like if they see me in person, they would say, "Hey, Jack, how you doing?" and stuff. You're like, "Yeah, hey, how you doing, man?" Like,
"Hey, what's going
whatever.
on?"
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Shit to you yesterday?
Yeah, how you going, bud? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But it's all part of it, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun, man. It's all you know what it is? They call it sibling rivalry. You know, these guys are your they're your competition, but they're also your kindred spirits as well. Because you guys have that love for a particular game to the point where you guys are competitive at it, and you want to show your skills with each other. And I've noticed that like even with you right now, you're in Australia. You have your competitors, you have your rivals that are in Australia, and you guys always talk shit to each other, and you guys are always competing. But guess what happens when somebody from out of town comes to your town and says, "Oh, all of you guys, I don't care who it is, like, yeah, you guys are all trash." Both of you guys will come together and be like, "Okay, let's go beat his ass." Like, nah, we're gonna go to the. So it's all love. It's sibling rivalry. It's all love when it comes to that stuff, and a lot of people tend to forget that because
they do.
The best thing to do is to be able to come together as a community and be able to take out those guys that are, you know, in America, or take out those guys that are in Europe or whatever like that, and show that hey, these guys are really the best of the best, when it comes to said game or whatever like that.
Yep.
Like you said, the Call of Duty series was kind of like the GOAT for you or whatever like that. What Call of Duty was like the one that did it for you? That was like, dude, this game is amazing.
I think the very first time I loaded up my friend's old school PS3, the really big one that we had backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
And we played Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Okay.
That game, I think that game actually changed first-person shooters in period. I think it did. I think everyone can agree on that. The way it had the perk system, the guns, the camos, the progression system, claymores, rocket launchers, all ahead of its time. I remember I saw a claymore on, it was Crossfire on a bridge, and I'm like, holy shit, man, let's put one down. It was new. I'd never played the game. Put one down, camped in a corner, and I killed someone. And I was like, holy shit, because I was at the friend's house and I didn't have a PlayStation at the time.
You're like this. Like,
I'm like, holy fuck, man. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh my God, did I just do that? It was the coolest thing ever. Now I'm doing some crazy shit, but how far we've come. But then we, I progressed and got a Nintendo Wii, played Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare on the Wii with the gun and same as Modern War. Then I progressed to a PS5 on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and that was just another level. But I think that for FPS and like one of the greatest CODs of all time has to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is a re-release of it is coming out next year, which is very exciting.
They just released a like a screenshot of the logo.
But what are your thoughts, man? What's the GOAT game for you?
Definitely would probably have to go with Grand Theft Auto and I'd say Grand Theft Auto 5 online. Because of the atmosphere that they brought.
It's a great game.
To people. Yeah,
I put a lot of hours into it too.
Yeah, which is crazy because it doesn't seem to be there's no middle point. You either love the game or you fucking hate it, and there's always those two communities that are like, this game is trash. Why do you hate it? Oh my God, this game is the greatest thing ever, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fighting games would be my first love, obviously, like that. But I really can't say overall.
Yeah,
and of course,
it's too hard.
Like you said, these are biased opinions. I have an affinity for Grand Theft Auto only because I've always wanted that type of freedom in a game where I can just do whatever the hell I wanted. And since GTA 5 is the pinnacle of you just doing whatever the hell you want, as long as it's within the confines of the system that allows it, then you just do whatever, go knock yourself out. There are people that will say, oh, the MK2 oppressor ruined the game, oh, the hackers ruined the game, oh, the movement ruined the game, all this other stuff like that. At the end of the day, you have to appreciate all the time, effort, and detail that they put in that game, and I think that's what really sets it apart, is the fact that there's so much to do in one game as opposed to any other game that I've played in my entire life. And I think that there's something to be said about that when it comes to video games in general, because you could shit all over Rockstar and be like, oh, they're the worst company ever and they're just shilling it and they're trying to milk it and stuff like that. At the end of the game, they made a fantastic game that is unparalleled to anybody. And case in point, when you go and you play something, let's say like Cyberpunk 2020 or whatever, you realize that no company could really match the level of quality and detail that Rockstar has done with that game.
Yeah.
And the same can be said about Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a fantastic, well-detailed, extremely well-thought-out game. The problem is it is boring as hell. I cannot stand riding that horse for 4 hours across
I know. It was fucked.
I'm about to pass. I can't do this.
Yeah.
The thing that sets Call of Duty apart is not Call of Duty. I'm sorry. The thing that sets Grand Theft Auto apart is the fact that it doesn't forget that it's a video game. It still gives you the tools to be able to progress as fast or as slow as you want. If you want to just enjoy a ride, hop in my low rider, drop that motherfucker and I can listen to Dr. Dre on it and just start cruising down the road and just having a good time and And it's crazy because the level of camaraderie that we talk about in the Twitch community and just, you know, in internet altogether, you get that in Call of Duty because you can either be driving your lowrider in the middle of the casino and other dudes will start driving right and they start showing off their cars and everybody's having a good time, or you'll get that one asshole that just fires the rocket and kills everybody.
Yeah.
So you gotta take it with a grain of salt, because why? You're still able to do whatever you want, and that's a good thing. That's a great thing. So when it comes to that atmosphere, I've always loved that, and I think a lot of people overlook that because at the core of at the core of Grand Theft Auto, it's just a Sims game, and I love I love that. I used to play a game called Second Life way back in the day, and then when PlayStation had PlayStation Home, I used to play that as well.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the idea of going into a room and just chatting it up with people and making a connection and having that atmosphere. And Call of Duty, oh my God, I keep saying Call of Duty.
It's in your head rent free, son.
I know, it's in my head now. I can't
rent
get it
free,
out.
rent free, baby.
Call of Duty is the GOAT.
We both said GTA though.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. No, but Grand Theft Auto just seems to have perfected what I've wanted in a video game all this time. And I think that's what, for me personally, makes it the GOAT. But again, everybody has their reasons. Everybody has their own perspective of what a good GOAT game is. And, you know, it's okay to have opinions. It's okay to have opinions.
Well, like GTA, you look at it, like you've got, starting the planes. You got planes. You got every type of plane in the system. You can drive a big one. You can drive it, and then you can drive a C-130. You can fly a military jet. You can have these different types of cars, Bond cars with guns in the front, back, rear, all that type of shit. You can have cars that have like a scoop on them, like the in the Fast and Furious series, and cars just flick over the top of you. You can have you can drive around in a bus if you want, just picking people up. You can get a jet ski, or you can
drive around. You could drive around in the Back to the Future car.
Yes.
You could drive around in the Knight Rider car, and you can drive around in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
You could drive around in the A-Team car.
Yeah.
You could drive around in a lowrider. You could drive around in a big rig. You could drive around in an 18-wheeler. You could do whatever you want. Like, the options are insane, and it's done very well. And again, it's just one of those games where they thought of everything you could possibly think of to integrate into a game that has lasted over 10 years.
I know.
It's still we're still roughly in the 9-year mark. That's
it'll hit 10.
But it's about to be 10 years with that game, and it's still going strong. If you look on Twitch and you look at the top playing games right now, it's still in the top 5, I believe.
I know.
So it's unprecedented. The fact that anybody can argue that it's not the GOAT is strange to me. But again, I'm coming from a bias aspect, because I like those type of games, and that's where I see it. Totally not perfect in any way. Definitely, there's a lot of broken shit in the game. Rockstar doesn't give a shit about the hackers. They're just going around killing everybody they want. They own the lobbies. The control is ass. There's bugs everywhere. Still, no game has come close to it. None. 10 years ago. It's amazing.
It's so good. And they added the and I remember when I first got onto console, so they started on console only, and then they went to PC, and then they went to the new next generation of console, and then now they updated the thing and made people buy it again. And then, like, how many fucking sales do they have? And then, not to mention, then you could only
can you make money off of
I know.
one thing?
and then you could make then you could play the game at first-person shooter as well. You could change between the modes. And I'm just like, holy fuck, man. Like, this game is just incredible. And that's what Ryan Reynolds' movie shows as well, where it wasn't Ready Player One. It was a different game. It was recent. I can't remember what it was called, though. But he was living a simulation. And it was like Grand Theft Auto. Have you seen it?
Ready Player One? Are you talking about the actual game?
No, not that one. The movie with Ryan Reynolds. It's like Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That one, yeah.
And
the guy has
Free Guy.
exactly like Free Guy. I was actually really like. I got super like I know people give a lot of shit to Ninja, but I got super pumped when I saw Ninja. I would love to meet him. That'd be so cool. And whatnot to meet like him or something. I don't know what I'd say. Like generally around like I'm around at big names here and there. I play with big names.
Yeah.
But I think obviously you got to play it cool and just not really give a fuck and say, hey, I'm so and so. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Or actually, no, you don't even say what's your name. You know who they are. So you just say, hey, I'm so and so. Nice to meet you.
I think it's a different different atmosphere when it comes to streamers. I don't think a lot of streamers will brush you off as well as much as, let's say, a Hollywood actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there isn't that level of cockiness because Hollywood and actors, they have like that chip on the shoulder because they're part of that inclusive environment, as opposed to streamers that want people to come into their environment. So I think they're a lot more inviting, as opposed to that. Trust you'll probably still run into those guys that are just like, oh,
yeah,
you only got 5 viewers in your get the fuck get out of here, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think that I honestly believe that the age of media is changing. You went from books to people listening to
radio,
absorbing media on the radio.
Yep.
Then you go from the radio to people absorbing media on the TV. Now you're going from TV to people absorbing media on the internet. And a lot of people in that Hollywood mentality don't like that transition. It's just a generational gap. And what you're seeing now is that the people who were considered to be, oh, you're a YouTuber, like what do you even make money? Like what are you, Now it's like, oh, you're a YouTuber, you must be making like, good money and stuff like that. And it used to be the days of, oh, you're a Twitch streamer, oh, you're probably not, dude. And now it's like, oh, you're a Twitch streamer, holy crap, you're probably making like good money.
Yeah.
There's that transition that people will hate the new thing until the new thing becomes the it thing, and then it's like everyone starts talking about it. So I honestly believe that. I don't know. You ever watch Jimmy Kimmel? Jimmy Kimmel, he made a statement as like, oh, who are these people? Who wants to watch somebody play video games? Like, what's going on here?
So dumb. Like,
and you're like,
you watch sport.
Like, hey, first of all, anybody who watches you is unable to engage. They're just watching you tell jokes. But imagine being able to engage with somebody while they're telling the joke. And I think that's something that people actually want more than just being able to see you on a stage and just talk. They want to be able to engage. They want to be able to be a part of the conversation. And guess what? Those people who are playing those video games are part of that platform that allow people to become a part of that conversation. And when that becomes more of the accepted media, guess what's going to happen, Jimmy? You're out of a fucking job.
You're gone, son. You're gone.
You're gone. Your little show is out of here. And the people who will be taking over are the ones that stuck with that genre that you used to make fun of, because of the fact that you didn't understand the new media that was coming around. So it just takes time. I think that we're on the beginning of it. You know what I mean? We're on the cusp of it, because even when Justin TV was around, it was a great idea, but the technology wasn't there. People were running 56K modems at the shit, and no one could actually stream a game at that time. Now that we have cable and crazy data speeds and stuff like that, people are actually able to do that, and now it's just becoming more practical. So I could have never imagined this in a million years when I was a kid, that people would be able to connect and play video games live with each other. I never thought that was a thing.
Insane, man.
I'm watching your podcast with Grandmaster Go JJ.
Yeah, he is a legend,
dude. Like that's what I mean about presentation. His background looks so cool. Like he's got the lighting and shit like that. It is fucking dope, man.
Grandmaster Go is a legend, bro.
I gotta work on stuff like that. Like presentation is very important, and it's hard to get like that, because I don't understand like aesthetics at that capacity. It's like, oh, does this really look good? And like, oh man, what do I really want for like, my background and stuff like that. And his camera, you could tell he has like a professional like one of those Canon like GL40 fucking
he has like a cam link happening.
Those are like $1,000 cameras. Yeah, those are crazy.
With him, he was interesting. He was a guy that wanted to just host Warzone tournaments, and now he's got into casting. And now I don't know if you follow the competitive COD scene, but he casts a lot of Warzone tournaments. He's casted like $1.5 million worth of tournaments between himself and Katie Bedford. Katie is was the face of Call of Duty, like the first and only female that was a caster in the Call of Duty scene before Call of Duty League took over. So it was COD World League, and then it got bought out and franchised to be Call of Duty League. Then she got, I don't know what happened there, but she's not working for them now anymore. But now she's transitioned, and he came across her, and now they're probably the biggest duo casters in Warzone. So he's killing it, man. He's going so well.
Isn't that crazy how like things will just fall into place when you keep working at it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nuts, man. That's
persistence.
Crazy.
Persistence is key.
It's persistence. Like, I mean,
but doing the right persistence, sometimes there's wrong stuff.
There is that level of luck that everyone needs, but if you're constantly exposed, if you're constantly out there, then that luck will fall in your favor. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it really comes down to. Is people understanding that your time will come if you keep at it. And the hardest thing, I think, personally, when it comes to streaming is trying to stay consistent.
Yep.
And life always gets in the way, regardless of what. Life finds a way to get in your way when you're trying to do something. And you have other obligations. Everyone does. And I've seen them come and go. And I think that in order to be successful, you have to learn how to transition the world around your dedication to streaming. And that's very difficult for a lot of people who don't see things grow within themselves, or not in themselves, but in their platform and stuff like that. And then they have to reinvent themselves or reinvent how they can publicly get that themselves out to the rest of the world, because it's difficult when you don't have that support group. And that's why community is so important, because you can't do it on your own. No one can. You have to be able to have a manager, a team, or that support group that can constantly promote your stuff, and you can promote their stuff, and everyone can help each other out. Because I don't just have, I got fans on my stream. I promote them as well. If you look, was it that one right there? So that one is literally. Let me see if I can move my camera here. There you go. So that one I call the Illuminati. Is that
a Simpsons characters with the Illuminati there? Are they Simpsons characters?
That is all of the self-portraits of my community. Of the artists that did all of the art around here.
Yeah, that's incredible.
What
I was asking though, is that like a Simpsons like theme of them in there?
No. That's them. All, like, I guess if you go closer, you'll see it's all different arts. It kind of looks like
different art forms, from the distance.
It's all different, So it's all different art of them, and they just all put it together, and they said, okay, we'll put it on a poster and we'll promote you guys, because we want to show you guys off too. We want to make sure that
to be part of it.
Get exposure to
exactly. And I think for people listening as well, picture an Illuminati symbol in the middle of a page of A4 paper. And then picture sitting at a long 12-seated table, and you've got heaps of people on either side of it from the side view, and the Illuminati symbol is at the end of it. That is the image that ESTEBAN just showed, and it does look incredible. Like all these images behind. If you guys aren't watching right now on the YouTube, definitely flick over and see this gentleman's background, because it is quite impressive. And I'm a guy of color, and I love all these colors going everywhere, man. It's hidden. The endorphins are hitting, mate.
Endorphins are everywhere.
Exactly. Absolutely, man. It's so cool to have a community, and I think that, like personally, like whenever I have any artist, I haven't had it for a long time, but I used to have people that come into my streams and they used to say, "Hey, I've just been sketching you whilst you've been live. here's the art, and they sent it to me. I'm like, holy fuck, that's incredible. Like, I love art. I haven't had anyone do it for me for years though. But I've kept every single one that someone sent me. I've kept it on my computer, so it's all kept. Whether it be good art or bad art, it's all been good. But honestly, man, art is something that I'm super like respectful of because it's so cool. Even like food is a chef's form of art as well. Like it's just it's incredible. It really is fantastic to see different types of art forms all around us.
Same here. We have nothing but folders and folders and folders of the artwork of the community has made for us. And and they made so much that I was like, you know what? At the beginning and the end of my stream, I'll just show off the art. This is something that Max started doing. He just started the wait times before you actually start the stream. Just post once you go live, show them the art of everyone does, and hopefully the artist puts their names on it and stuff like that, so that people know who it is, so that they can get exposure, and then people can go to them for commissions and stuff like that. And the people who are fans of our channel, if they have a particular a skill, like if they know how to edit, or if they do like art for commissions and stuff like that, we promote the hell out of them, because we love the idea of building our community. And the idea is that paid forward. Like they do so much to promote your stuff. Why not give them the opportunity to promote their stuff too? I retweet their stuff all the time, because why not? It's
sick.
Oh my god,
art is incredible, man.
And seeing the crazy stuff that they do is like, dude, these guys are really talented, and more people should know about said person. Or like, what is this over here? Fucking
Dragon Ball Z.
There goes. Yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z, and that's X-Men.
I was gonna say, it looks like Doctor Doom there.
Yeah, that's Doctor Doom. X-Men. That's Gambit. Me as Wolverine, and God, I forgot the guy's name. Bishop. Yeah, Bishop, Gambit, Wolverine. It's amazing. They just put us on all this other stuff. So
I love it.
It's like, hey, were you a fan of that stuff? Cool. So was I. Let me make an artwork of that, of you and the other guys and stuff like that, and show it off, because again, I like the idea of letting people know who they are as well as we are, and if they get a chance, check out our Assist Me movie. If the people are listening right now, there is, just type in Assist Me in YouTube, and you'll see all the movies that Max has made with his friends, and me and my friends as well, as together, because we just love that. We love that kind of 80s old school movie style of Back to the Future, Predator, Aliens, fighting game stuff like that. And we decided to put something together that that people enjoy, and it's a lot of fun, and we had fun making it every single time, because it's just stuff that we enjoy as kids, and we're just older kids, really. Like, we're just older kids.
I love it, man.
Pay bills.
How good of a movie was Predator?
Older kids that just pay bills now, but we're still just kids.
Exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, we're still just kids.
Kids with adult money.
It's like, oh, okay, you're a kid, but like you just go to work and you pay your bills. That's about it.
Exactly.
You can't play with toys anymore. You have to play with money. It's great.
I remember the first time I saw a Predator, I shit myself, man. I was like about 10 or 12. I literally had my 5 or 6-year-old sister to sit there, but she had no idea what was going on, so she sat there, and that was my sense of security there. But she used to always watch those. I guess for me back then it was scary, but like Alien vs Predator, that was a little bit scary too, because you got this big fucking massive alien thing that blends away in the dark, dribbling shit everywhere and spits out acid. Like, holy fuck, man. It's just like, it's not. I'm keen. They didn't really hit too well with this new Predator, although that thing was fucking roided up. But I really am keen for the next one.
The problem is that the magic of some of these old 80s and 90s movies don't hit the same way anymore, because they've lost the charm and tenacity and the story of what it was that made them so good in the first place.
Yep.
And I think that kind of like with Call of Duty, unfortunately, is that they're trying to capitalize on what they made, and they're dropping the ball because they don't know how to reinvent themselves in a way that still captures the heart of the audience.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because you like you said, you can compare some of the new Call of Duties to the Modern Warfare 1 and 2, and you're like there's just no comparison. Like those
Yeah.
games were fun because they knew how to capture that new thing that people were going crazy over. And now it feels like okay, now they're just rolling with the punches, you know what I mean? Like they're not really trying to give us anything new or trying to change anything. They're just like they want to keep everything nice and safe. So uh do you like um the blackout aspect of it, or do you like regular Call of Duty a little bit more?
I used to love
The battle royale, not the
yeah,
blackout.
yeah.
Sorry,
No,
the
no,
battle
I understand what you mean. I used to really love the multiplayer aspect with just like search and destroy, team deathmatch,
Yeah.
domination. You know, those OG
Yeah.
modes. I think we all have a bit of nostalgia with those. We all had those one games when we got a good game.
Yeah.
But now with this skill-based matchmaking, which, you know, I don't mind it if it's in ranked, but it's like, why would you change it for the in the very casual modes? It used to be it used to be connection based, but now it's not. It's just purely skill, so it's just dumb as shit. If I want to verse people with the same skill gap, I'd go to ranked. If I want to chill and just kick back with music, non-copyright, of course, and play, then I play that and just, you know, kick up a game. You have the same people in the lobby. You talk shit every game, keep following, saying in the same lobby.
Right back,
that's right. Instead of having this, and you build a storyline every game. Say, oh, shouldn't you last game? I shouldn't you 2 games ago? You know what I mean? And you can have it backwards and forwards. But now it's new lobbies every game and all that type of stuff. So back, if you asked me this question back in 2015, pre 2018 even, I would have said Call of Duty public games, just multiplayer matchmaking. But if you ask me nowadays, I would definitely say the battle royales, because it's, even though it's right now, it's very fucking, it's in the blender. It's fucking terrible. But I think that, and there's a lot of things that they need to fix and work on. But I think that I just don't care. It was Warzone 2's coming out next year. But I think the big thing for me is that with the battle royales, it's always different. You land at the same spot if you want. However, it's always going to be different because that circle is always changing. There's different things on the ground for you to pick up, and there's always going to be different situations where you're going to be caught with your pants down, your dick in your hand. And it makes everything so entertaining. There's going to be side curveballs thrown at you. There's going to be things happening that go your way, things happening that don't go that do go your way, and that's what makes it entertaining and different and enjoyable to play and watch. So I believe, long story short, battle royale right now for myself. Yeah, we got there.
There you go. All right, nice. Yeah.
Yourself, man.
Battle Royale has always been fun. When I first started playing it with I believe it was Blackout. I was watching I think the first really big Battle Royale that everyone started watching was Fortnite.
Yeah.
And then but even before that it was
H1. H1Z1 or PUBG?
H1 PUBG for me. H1Z1 everyone was before that was H1Z1, but PUBG I started seeing, I'm like, what is this? And the first time I saw Battle Royale, I thought it was the most boring shit I've ever seen. I'm like, so he's just walking around, he's not doing anything. What's happening? Oh, he's standing in a tree, he's trying to snipe somebody. Oh, that's fucking great. And then the aspect of what you're doing. This is the difference between watching somebody and actually playing the game. It's the fact that you're constantly afraid because everybody's out to get you. And you are on your toes every single second, and it's freaking you out. But and if your audience is right there with you and they're just as afraid for you because they want you to win, it's that more intense. So I understand why that boring part can be really entertaining. But the big one was Fortnite, and then Call of Duty started doing it, and then that's when I started playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the battle royales are definitely starting to evolve.
Mm.
Like there's one battle royale that I think had like vampires in it. There's
I did see that.
another
Yeah.
yeah, there's a battle royale that's like vampires going at it, and then there was a new one that's supposed to come out where you don't have guns. Everyone's supposed to fight each other in this giant arena, and
This is like a
that's kind of
Street
already been
Fighter
done.
fucking.
Yeah, like yeah, and I've already played one that like the characters have special powers and stuff like that, and they throw it at each other and crazy stuff like that. So battle royale itself is actually starting to evolve, and
Yeah.
they're finding more ways to introduce it and have fun with it and everything like that. And I still like the fear aspect, because it's not just okay, I can go in there, shoot, get killed, respawn, go in there, kill, shoot. No, it's this is it. Like, I gotta be on my toes every single time until the end. And the best part is always when you realize, holy shit, we're like the top 3, we have a chance.
Yeah.
And then you guys really start to like focus, and it's like, okay, it's like you're there. It's like you're there in that war zone. You're locked in that aspect, and nothing else matters now. Get the dub, back up your boys. Somebody gets shot, you pick them up, you bring
You're
them,
like,
everyone's yelling, and start explosions like that, and the wall is closing in.
yeah.
It's nuts. It's a lot of fun, and I think that it can be great if if you make it if you make it as intense as it actually seems. And again, it comes down to role playing with Grand Theft Auto 5, because those people immerse themselves in those characters and they become those characters. And when you're playing Call of Duty and you get to that intense spot, it doesn't matter who you are those guys
Yeah.
in that war zone shooting and shit like that. And you're backing each other up and shit like that. So I always find that the most interesting stuff about it. But I always get too stressed out when it comes to battle royals.
Yeah, it's stressful. You get so immersed and so into it. You do yourself a ring and you're like, oh god. Yeah. The vein starts popping out of the forehead. You're like, oh my god, I really need to step away from this. Yeah, it's not good.
I try to focus on having fun. And when I'm super stressed out in a game, I'm like, I could be stressed out in real life by working anyway. I'm not going to do that when I'm going home and I'm playing a game. I'm going to do my best to enjoy this. And when I go out in the real world, I'll be stressed. I'll worry about that later. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Hey, Esteban,
yeah.
before you go, mate, before we wrap this up, I just want to quickly get into the story about how you got into gaming.
Sure.
So let's get into it, man. So how did you get into gaming? How did you first come across it?
My competitive nature.
Okay.
I had my neighbors come over, and they said, "Oh, yo, check this out." I'm like, "What's up?" It's like, "Oh, it's a Street Fighter." I was like, "Oh, Street Fighter. What's that about?" I was like, "Oh yeah, it's like this one guy and this other guy, and you beat each other up." And I was like, "You just control every aspect of it." I was like, "Oh, you mean like Karate Champ?" And I was like, "Yeah, but this one you get to do a lot of cool moves and shit like that." Cool moves. Okay, let me see. Play the game, they immediately mop the living floor out of me. Like, they just crush me. And I'm like, this game sucks. It's like, no, it's awesome. You should try it again. They kick the living shit out of me. I'm like, okay. They leave, and I get a chance to go to the arcade, and I get a chance. I think my older brother had bought the game like a month later or something like that. And then I actually learned the game, and I figure out what I can do. And then that next month after I learned, I said, "Hey guys, you want to play that game again?"
Yes.
Like, yeah, sure. And I murdered them just completely. And they're like, "Oh, so you're so good." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And I just start going crazy. And because I learned the game, and that aspect of me actually getting good at something that you never thought you could is the greatest feeling, because it's like I can never be in a helicopter pilot. Have you ever tried? Well, you like let somebody actually teach you or try to learn on your own, and all of a sudden you're just flying this fucking helicopter all over the place, and you're like, dude, I really enjoy this. It's just that feeling of being able to learn something new and gravitating towards it, because everyone has their niche. Like you're all good at something, you know what I mean? And being able to understand what you're good at and capitalizing on it is is the greatest feeling in the world, because it's like, dude, I was meant for this, you know, like you
Yeah.
get that feeling. And video games, it was just like that for me. I played football, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't for me. I played basketball, and I was really good at it, and then I fucked up my leg, and I tore my
Oof.
cartilage in my right leg. So I was like, yeah, well, I guess
Oof.
can't do that. And I played video games, and it was just like a match made in heaven. It was like, dude, I'm naturally good at this, and it's a great way to relieve stress, and
Yeah.
I'm having a blast. From there on in, arcade scene, meeting friends who are just like me. We used to go to, just like with you, when you go to tournaments, we used to go to the different tournaments in the arcades and underground stuff like that, and just all the trash talk was there, all the camaraderie was there.
Yep.
And if we had a group of guys from outside town try to challenge us, oh, it was a done data. We
It was
go
on.
down there. It
Love that.
oh my God. And we'd be like, how much money we taking from you today, bro? How much money? So
Yeah.
it's the competitive nature. That's how you get in that's how I got into video games. It's that competitive nature. We like having fun. We like to see what we can really do. It's the reason why humans have the Olympics. We want to see what you can do when you're at your best. What can you do when you're at your peak? So yeah, that's definitely what it is. And I'm sure it's the same way with you, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's all about the competitive nature. Everyone's got a little bit of that spark in them, no matter how much they say, I'm not a competitive person. You're like, shut up. Yes, you are. You always do try. You say you're not trying, but you're always doing that little, that tongue to the side, like doing that in your cheek, like doing one of these ones with the one eye.
You know what it is? It's seeing when somebody actually realizes that they've learned something new, and they've it's like when that light bulb comes up, when the teacher teaches you something about math, and you're like, oh, I can never do it. And then all of a sudden he's like, okay, try it this way. And he shows you. And then you're like, you get the problem on the board, and you're like, and then it's like Eureka. Oh, that's how you do it. It's the same thing in video games. Like it's progress, and it's really cool to see that to come in. And I think that's a fantastic thing for a lot of people. So
absolutely. You know, it's been an hour and a half. It's
I know. I gotta go, man.
This is flown. It is flown.
Yeah, this is
it's flown, man.
I'm sure you'll edit this like crazy. So
no. It's raw. It stays. It's start to finish. Obviously the toilet break out quickly. That was me. Wasn't Esteban. That was me. But yeah, I've had such a great time, man. Definitely my longest podcast episode as well. I've been going. Normally I do the 45s, but if people are willing to talk and they want to hang around for an hour and a half, then we just let it go.
Indeed, man.
But dude, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. One last question is that, do you keep your butter in the fridge or the pantry?
In the fridge. What's that? My butter?
Your butter
in the fridge.
Your butter.
It's going to melt in the pantry. What are you doing?
It doesn't melt in the pantry. I keep it in the pantry. It smoothly goes over the bread when it's fresh, because you know how the bread's doughy and tacky. So if you so on toast it's easy as well. But like sometimes people say that I know that if you put it in your fridge, it hardens up a little bit too much, even with the spreadable. So if you get a fresh, nice piece of like sourdough or something, and it's super warm, and you try to spread, it just and you're like, oh my god.
There it is.
And that's my argument from it, because I have so much dough rolling and shit happening whenever I do it. So, but anyway, is there anything? Actually, no. I'll put all your socials in the bottom of the link in the description. If you guys want to check out Esteban, all of your socials will be in the description. Infinite, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast.
Indeed,
You're an absolute legend, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to go check him out. Man. He's got such a great community there. Such a humble guy, and he has such a great community to be part of. Because looking at his background, it's something that I'm getting FOMO of not being on one of those posters because they're incredible. But thank you so much for your time, and thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to leave the podcast a 5-star on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever the hell you're listening to, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, remember to be safe, stay swell. As always,
peace.
Boom, baby.